Okay, now we're recording. So posting and just like getting kind of clear on some of the things you can do to learn a little bit more about how to go about posting. The first thing you need to understand is that there's not a right or a wrong way. It's more just that you have to be willing to kind of experiment with where you're at and figure out like how you want to build your brand. So I guess one of the big things to think about when you're creating a post is like, think about the purpose. Like, are you just, sorry, I'm going to mute everybody so that there's not background noise. Sorry. But like when you're thinking about posting, there should be a purpose, and it shouldn't just be to throw a post up and just say something random that has no real real value behind it. Like if you're going to share a transformation photo, then share some part of your story. Like I wanted to find an example really fast from a girl that she gave just a really simple example of what posting, like say a transformation can look like. Oh goodness. Watch me forget her name. I thought it was Soto. Yes, this one. Okay. So she's going through something really, really hard right now. She's a coach on her team. And one of the things that she is really being pretty open about is just that she's going through like a separation, like with her and her husband. And just, the dynamics of dealing with kids and all of those kinds of things. But she's not making the whole, like, talk about her problems or talk about, all of the hard things that are going on in her life, the focus of her journey. When she's talking about like her posts and things, she's talking about, things that are important to her. So when you're thinking about, sharing on social media, I want you guys to think about the things that attracted you to, maybe to my page or to other coaches' pages. They're usually not the things like they did a workout today, or their sweaty selfie, or maybe an inspirational quote that you share from Pinterest. They're things that really tell a story, and basically they're connecting with, or you connected with either myself or another coach or somebody else, and you see that post and it makes you want to keep reading. It makes you want to understand them a little bit better, but it also related to you on some level. It was relatable, and it was something that just made you think a little bit more about your own journey. And so, sometimes it might be funny things. Like she talks about this, like, this is just a funny thing that she saw. Like, what do we do when we're sad? Me, add to cart, therapist. No, like, this is not what we do. But she's like open about going to therapy. She's open about doing the different things that she's doing right now. She did a post talking about like the before for her 100 days. And so it's a picture of where she was before she even started anything Beachbody related. But then she's also got a picture of where she's at now, and just the energy and the excitement and the things that she's nervous about. So she's just being open and vulnerable about things like what's going on. So she said, we grow through what we go through. And during one of the hardest times in my life, she's committed to 100 days. Why? And then she tells all of the whys. Like, these are like 3-4 reasons why this is something that she knows is going to help her right now. And it's not necessarily going into all of the details of exactly what she's going through, even though if you have read her posts and things, you might have a better understanding of what's going on. But think about the deeper reasons of why you're committed to your journey. And those are the kinds of things to talk about. Like when you're talking about what you're doing and why you're showing up on social media, like, it's so much more important than just that you're doing a workout. But I wanted to find this transformation picture from her. Oh my word. Here we go. Okay. So this is where she shows a really big transformation. So obviously this is like 11 years ago. This is with one of her first babies. And she said, I was 28 years old with a 1-year-old, a college degree in fitness, but not happy or fulfilled or winning at anything on the left. Fast forward to the person on the right, or the mom she is on the right, is a mom of 2 boys who works out in the basement for 30 minutes every morning. She eats clean-ish, and she's just living the best life that she can for herself right now. The only difference is that she was crazy enough to believe that she could be a success story for other people. That's like, to me, like, this is like how you can tell your story in a really concise way and have it be meaningful and have it make an impact on somebody else's life. Because what this does is this helps somebody else see themselves in one or some area of this scenario and say, well, if she's doing this, and this is how much more light there is in her eyes, how much happier she seems on a day-to-day basis, then why couldn't I do that? So that's kind of, you want to help people kind of draw those connections. That's what, to me, a transformation photo is. It's about really helping someone see, this is where I was, and I've come a really far, like from this place to this place, even if it's only been a month. You guys, if you've had a month, there's something different about you that people will notice, and that it will be noticeable in showing a side-by-side comparison. Even if you haven't lost more than maybe 5 pounds or 3 pounds, sometimes just seeing the difference in the way that you're showing up and that light in your eyes, that's what makes the difference, like, to me, for a lot of the transformation photos that I share. But back to where you can like find some resources on this. So in the new coach training that's in our team page, so you go to the JoyFit crew, like Danae's PS coaches, if you hit the units and then you hit in the new coach training, there's going to be some helps for how do you take better pictures. Okay, this is a training. If you have not done this and you're feeling like you want to up your game on your posting, or you want to understand maybe what you could do a little bit differently to take a different perspective, kind of a selfie, because you want your page to be interesting. Like your page, your Instagram, your Facebook, like this is your storefront. And you're not necessarily just selling Shakeology or selling Beachbody programs. You're really showing people this is a lifestyle that they can live, and that it's going to help them better their entire lives because of it. But right in here, number 4.1, social media calendar and example. These are just to give you some brainstorm ideas for what you could post about on a day-to-day basis. And then I'm still like, I need to finish some of the order of these. But where did it go? I thought it was in here. Maybe it's not in here. There is a really, really good, personal development book, or like webinar. It's not a webinar. It's like an audio program, and it's called The Power of Vulnerability. It's by Brené Brown. And if you have not read that book and you're feeling like you're having a hard time maybe opening up about the different things that are going on in your life, or really just kind of giving people a deeper dive into who you are as a person without even going into all the details of what you're going through, then this is an audio book that you can get. It's really like it was a big, what do you call it? Like a big event that she did where she just talked. It was like a seminar and they recorded her talking. But if you're not really sure if you want to listen to that, just Google The Power of Vulnerability by Brené Brown. And she has a TED Talk that's about 20-25 minutes where she talks about the power of vulnerability and what it really does for you, because so many of us are stuck in this, like, being afraid of talking about the things that we're going through because we think that it's not going to help. Or we're worried that, we're not really ready to open up about it, or, things like that. And I'm not saying that you shouldn't be careful in like what you're going through, and that you shouldn't just like open up to dump all this emotional baggage out into social media. That's not the purpose. But I am saying that there is a way to be more open and more vulnerable about the things that you are struggling with, even just like small little day-to-day things, and to let people into that part of your life, because that's what breeds connection. And your post needs to be something that invites them to connect with you as a person. Like when I have people come to talk to me, and like I ask them and they do like my challenge group application, I ask them, why do you want me to be your coach? And lately, like most of the people that I've gotten a solid answer from, because not everybody answers that question, but the people that I get an answer from, like they give me some kind of well, I really felt like I related to you because of this, or I feel like you understand this. And it's really just, that's the kind of thing that you want to do when you're sharing in your stories and just being yourself. But just in the way that you post on a regular basis about why did you show up? Instead of just posting a sweaty selfie saying like, I did my workout today. Why did you show up? What was hard? What was hard to show up for today that you showed up for anyway? Because those are the kinds of struggles that people relate to. And if you can show them that like, okay, yes, I had to work today, or yes, I had to get up at, like, Nicole, I know you and your husband get up crazy early. Like, be willing to talk about the times that it's hard and not just the times that it's easy. Because if you can talk about the times that it's hard, then people are going to feel more like they can relate to that, because that's how all of our experiences are as people. We all have crap that we're going through on a day-to-day basis, whether that we just are really, really emotional about different things, or we have, curveballs thrown in our life, and really just kind of having this perspective of how can I learn from this? How can I share something that I'm learning right now with someone else? And then just be willing to put that out in a social media post. Because like, I have to, like, I hope I can give you guys this idea, like, that if you want to be successful as a coach in helping other people, then you have to be willing to help them on this page first. Like, they have to have a desire to want to be a part of your social media journey, so to speak. And so you want to give them that reason. And it takes time. I'm not telling any of you that you're doing it wrong, but I just want you to know that, like, it's possible and it's something that you can grow into doing. But just start small. Like, think about little challenges that you come up to throughout the week, or maybe things that you're super grateful for. And just really get clear on how you can talk to someone else about how you went from feeling that way to still showing up for your workout, or to still feeling like you could, show up for the rest of the day and make it through the day, even though it felt really hard. Does that make any sense? I'm going to unmute you guys now.
Yeah.
Now we can talk. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So when you guys think about posting, and posting on your page, like, maybe let's just take the next 8 to 10 minutes, or 9 minutes. I can't read. Let's just think about, like, what are some things that you guys feel nervous about when you think about posting on social media? Like, what's maybe the holdup that kind of comes up in your brain?
Pictures of my pussy.
Family. Always messaging, you're constantly posting. You're a selfie freak, or you're this or you're that. It's very whatever.
Okay, hold on, Stephanie. I started to hear you talk, and then my kids were loud. And hold on, we're gonna try this. And now I'm gonna unmute Stephanie. So Stephanie, where'd you go? Okay, Stephanie, talk again.
Can you guys hear me?
Now we can, I think.
Okay. For me, it's like people constantly saying, well, I see you post all the time. You're like a selfie freak, or you're obsessed, or like, yeah, most people say that I'm too out there, like I post too much.
Okay. So basically just maybe a holdup for you feels like just caring what other people think.
Yeah, I guess so.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's normal. That's completely normal, like, to feel that way.
Right. I don't have a lot of support, like, from my family or friends.
Newsflash. Me neither. My family judges me all the time. They're very open about judging me about the things that I post about. I've had my mother-in-law at least once a year tell me that she thinks I shouldn't be so vulnerable in sharing pictures with my abdomen exposed to the world, because she thinks it's inappropriate. And I have I think it's okay to recognize that those comments hurt, but that we get to decide, honestly, it's my social media. And if I want to post selfies every day, who the heck cares? Who cares? That's like, the people that want to show up to your page, who really feel like they get something out of it, they're not worried about whether or not you post a selfie. They're worried about, what are you sharing that's going to help them? What are you sharing about, like, your life that's helping them get through something hard in their life?
I'm not posting publicly yet either. I mean, I have one Instagram that is public, the other one's not, and then my Facebook is still not public. Sometimes I've made a couple posts public, but I'm pretty private. I think maybe my work, 'cause I work in cybersecurity, so I'm kind of
So
leery.
you're leery of that. But at the
Yeah.
same time, there's all kinds of freaks and weirdos that are not even on social media that I feel like are more of an immediate threat to myself or my family than the 20,000 Instagram followers that I have because my profile is public. Um, and so like it's one of those things that I used to feel really worried about too. So I'm not saying you have to go and make your profile public if you're not comfortable doing that, but that if that's something you feel like you can reconcile, like any of you, like, then that's okay. Like it's not, I don't think it's a bad thing unless we make it a bad thing. And I still am very careful about who, like if I see someone following my stories or I see someone following my posts that I think they look a little weird or they have like a really inappropriate profile, I'm going to block them, and I don't have any problem doing that. And so, I mean, it's more just like focusing on what my purpose is. And my purpose is I want to be able to reach as many people as possible. The only way I can do that is with a public profile. So that's just kind of the conclusion that I've come to. But the other thing too is that, like, as far as, posting and feeling like everybody's kind of like, oh, you're so self-centered or things like that. Think about like what you're posting about. What's the content of your posts? Because I have pictures on my feed of me, my kids, me, maybe my husband in there thrown in, like, and I don't ever feel like I have people tell me I'm self-centered or things like that. And maybe that's because I just don't allow those kinds of people into my space, to even hold space in my mind. But the message that I'm trying to portray is something that I want to empower someone else to do something too. So really just like diving into your personal development, that's one of the easiest ways that you can share a post that's really going to be valuable to lots of people. If there's something that's helped you in listening to your personal development or reading a book, then share that. Like, share a quote from that and talk about something, like some way that it applies to you in your life. Because those are things that are actually really valuable to people and that help them think about things differently. Okay. So raise your hand. We've got like 4 minutes left, but anybody who else has like something that they feel like is maybe a fear about posting that we can talk about a little bit? Lisa, let me unmute you. Okay.
We've talked about this before, but I'm just really shy and I don't really know what to say. So I'm just trying to overcome that, and I don't know. I don't know how to, but I'm trying.
No, you're doing a really good job. Like, you're showing up and you're doing things that are out of your comfort zone. And so like posting and doing your Instagram stories and just getting more used to kind of talking out loud. But then also just kind of overcoming that belief and just like, instead of telling yourself I'm really shy, like, what are you learning to do? Maybe it's more of I'm becoming a little bit more comfortable being outgoing, instead of saying that I'm a shy person. Because when you say I'm really shy and you keep that like on yourself, then your brain believes that more. We want to give your brain something that can kind of bridge to being willing to put yourself out there in a little bit different of a way. But the cool thing is that you have this social media platform where nobody on there gets to come and without you being able to delete a comment if you didn't like it, they don't get to have a say in what you're posting because it's up to you. So really just being unapologetic about the things that are helping you and being willing to just share those simply because they're helping you, and trusting that there's going to be at least one other person out there who reads that post and goes, whoa, like I needed to hear that today. That's kind of how I would always approach posting at the beginning, because I was very like, guys, I went from posting next to nothing on social media to like posting. This was back when Beachbody encouraged us to post like 5 or 6 times a day. They do not do that anymore. Social media has changed, but at the same time, like, that was my reality, as I had to go from this, like, I never posted, to suddenly I was posting all day long. And so it was difficult. Like, and so I can recognize that it is difficult. Okay. We have like 30 seconds, but just because it's difficult doesn't mean it's not possible. So, what I would suggest is like, let's, just go follow each other, or, you can follow some other coaches. Jaylyn Barnes, I'll type her name in our chat box. She's really, really good about just sharing stories, and she's also gone through some really, really hard things in her life. So if you guys have other questions about posting, like, and how to maybe build connections, then let's drop those in the team thread and I'll like voice message you guys, but we're about to run out of time because these recordings are lame. Anyway, I need to stop the recording so it doesn't cut me off, but thank you guys for getting on. We can all wave bye. And I might, and if I'm lucky, everybody like freeze super, super fast and just like go like this. Okay, yay. I got a picture and it didn't cut me off. Score. Okay. But message me if you guys have other questions and like, let's just kind of keep this as an ongoing conversation this week. Okay?
Okay.
All right. Thanks,
Bye,
guys.
everybody.